What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good, Bruce? What's good, Bruce? You on my ass already? My fault. I had to fix this chat of mine real quick on I was just fixing it up. What's good? How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? You thought I got locked out, bro? You thought I got locked out? Nah, we out, baby. We out. I'm good, man. How are you? How's everybody? What's good, Eli? What's good? I'm making the gas money. I wish. What's good, Derpy? How's everybody doing? Burn that hell no. I missed the Disney song. Oh man, what's good? How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? Oh my God. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good vibe today. You guys hear me? You guys hear me good? You guys hear me good? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I mean, like I told you guys, this I want this to be more of a chill vibe. I'm just trying to kick it with y'all. What you guys want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about? This guy Eli called me J. Gilgis Alexander. Hey, shit, man, I'll take it. That boy about to go back to back. He about to go back to back, bro. Wait, hold on. You guys think if OKC wins the championship, you think Shay's gonna have a Instagram post with the Drake song back to back on it immediately? I think that's what's gonna happen. That's what I think he about to do if they go back to back, bro. Oh man. Real quick. If you guys what does it say? My boy got me 2K26. I'll be honest, they actually fixed the game. It's actually playable. Wait, hold on. Your boy got you 2K26? I need friends like you. I need your friends. Where are your friends at? Oh my God. Talk about the Knicks. You're not picking them. I actually think that my New York Knicks are. I got my Knicks and the Celtics. Either of those two teams I think are coming out of the Eastern Conference, honestly. I think Cleveland, James Harden got a history. James Harden has a history of not being clutch. Jaylen Brown has a history of being clutch. And it might not be as bad as Darius Garland next to Donovan Mitchell the last two playoffs, but James Harden, he's older. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but James Harden has a playoff history for sure. And my New York Knicks, I think we've had some really, really good stretches of basketball this year. And if we could put together good series, we got a guy that could win games when the game slows down. I think we got a good chance right there. OKC not going back to back. What makes you think so? Who you think taking him out? Immediately he's corny. I hope you're not, Kuya. I know that. Yeah. Let me see. There's actually. Oh, I should probably pop this on my phone real quick. Because there are some games going on right now. Hold up. Who you guys got coming out of the West and the East? Who you guys have coming out the West and the East? Because I'll be honest, I feel like there's more teams. I feel like there's more teams that could come out of the West. I think the East is a two-team race right now. Spurs Celtics finals. Sheesh. I mean, you really love hot takes, Bruce. You always love hot takes. I mean, always loved your hot takes. Pistons versus Wolves. What are we doing over here? What are we doing, bro? No, it's not gonna be Pistons Wolves. Pistons got no chance. I think I personally think that the West, and let me take a look at the standings again, but I think the West is a 2/3 team. Is a 2/3 team. Oh, the matchup right now. I was like, what are we talking about? That's about to be the championship. I actually got the game up. That's funny. I'm blacked out. Hi, Mom. Pistons best player got no lung. See, that's crazy. See, that's crazy. All right, let's take a look at this real quick here. All right, so here for the West, we have the Thunder at first, the Spurs, Lakers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Houston. I'll be honest, I don't love Houston's chances. I don't love Houston's chances. I think they're really missing Fred VanVleet. And you know, Kevin Durant was never the best defensive player. I think the Warriors made him look a lot better. But I also think that Sengun and having him on the starting lineup, even though Sengun had that big block the other night at the end of the game, you know, two guys that you could attack defensively. So that's not really ideal. And so you have really the Spurs, the Thunder. I think the Nuggets are going to be a tough out. I've been saying this. I think they're going to be a really tough out. Jamal Murray's been balling this year. He just had, 53 the other day? Jokic is still Jokic. I know they haven't played that well since Jokic's return. They've been really up and down. But I think the playoffs come around. I think they're going to be a really tough out. I think the Spurs are legit. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're lacking experience right now. It really depends on who they match up, on who they match up with and when. I think if they get a Denver matchup pretty early, that's really tough for them. I think the Spurs pretty much beat everyone else. Minnesota's kind of been up and down lately. You know, the talk's been about Ant-Man's just being a one-man army. So I think in terms of matchups, San Antonio's got a lot of these guys. Obviously, OKC, I think, is my favorite to come out of the West still. They just got the most consistency. They have a good identity. They got everything that you need. The sleeper team is LA, though. I will say, you know, I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me, but I think Luka's good enough to win a series. Even though I don't think, you know, he's not a great defender. He whines too much. There's a lot of flaws in Luka's game, but with all of that being said, I still think he's good enough to win a series. So I think they are the dark horse in the West. But it's really OKC, Denver, and Spurs right there. We back live. You can't see I'm hitting the Jamal dance. What's good, Elijah? What's good, GOAT? I'm not gonna lie. It's been fun going back and forth in the comment section with you. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I actually enjoy that stuff. People going back and forth. I was about to say some pause shit, but you know, going back and forth, I think it's a lot of fun. But here, let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. Detroit is first, Boston and New York. And like I said, I think Boston and New York are the two teams that are favored to come out. I will say, I feel like the Eastern Conference has teams you don't really want to play early. Right? Like, a Philly matchup just does not sound fun early. Charlotte, the way they just put up fucking 44 threes the other night. They've been going crazy. That just doesn't sound like a fun series to play. But yeah, I feel like you got some matchups around here that's gonna be just like annoying. It's just gonna be annoying to get out of. So Detroit's they could have a really long first round. They could have a really long first round. I mean, if they end up against Philly, for example, they don't got Cade. That's looking really slow for them. I think Boston pretty much takes care of everyone else. Like the Hawks, I think they got. I think Toronto they'll have. Depending on who they end up playing against, but there's some random sleeper teams in the East. For the West, I don't really have faith in a lot of these teams except for LA to maybe make things difficult. Kawhi's been hooping. I think Houston will still be a tough out. Again, it's just Sengun is a liability on defense. Holy. That was legendary. It was legendary. I like the Cavs. You like the Cavs? Listen, man, I like James Harden on Cleveland. I think he's definitely an upgrade to Darius Garland. I think he's for sure an upgrade to Darius Garland. Like about the same liability on defense, but it's like a different thing, right? It's like a different thing. Garland is just undersized, and then you have, James Harden who just doesn't try, right? It's two different reasons. But I think especially on offense, you know what you're going to get from him. But again, to Bruce's point right there, he's had a history on, in the playoffs of really underperforming. Really, really underperforming. And, the thing about Cleveland, Mobley is supposed to be that guy, but he really isn't right now. And, we're yet to see if he is, right? Evan Mobley is still that guy that we're waiting for, right? He was talking about battling against Wemby at one point for best player in the league, and we don't see that yet. So you have Harden, Mobley, Jared Allen has never been an offensive guy right that, and then it just really starts to trail off when it comes to players you could count on, not named Donovan Mitchell on Cleveland. So with that being said, it could go really similar the way it's gone in the playoffs for the Cleveland Cavaliers the last two seasons, where everyone's just not really performing or not showing up, and Donovan Mitchell has to go and get 40, which has been the story of the playoffs the last 2 years. So I can see the Clippers go to the conference finals. Clippers could best the Spurs. Dennis and Keon are big time. Oh yes, no, they are. I actually blacked out and forgot about them. All-star caliber guard and arguably best defensive guard coming and taking the load off Harden is huge. No, I actually did forget about that. No, that is big facts. That is a factor, actually. I'm glad you actually brought that up, Elijah. That is a factor because that could be that could really take a lot of pressure off of Harden, right? If Harden's not scoring the ball well, if Harden is not if he's just not having a great game, you have two guys that bring something different to the floor that could come in and try to have an impact. I will say though, Elijah, if they want to go have a deep playoff run, and I'm sure you know this already, but if the Cleveland Cavaliers want to have a deep playoff run, they're gonna need James Harden and his ability to put pressure on the rim and his ability to make tough shots, right? If you don't have the James Harden that we all know, you're just not going to make a deep playoff run, right? We've seen him, when he's attacking and he's playing well, he unlocks Jared Allen. He makes the game easier on Donovan Mitchell. He does a lot. He adds a lot of positives to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it does relieve a little bit of pressure off of him, but they're still going to need him to be James Harden if they want to make a deep playoff run. Because if you're just having Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder pick up the slack every series, I think that's going to be really tough. And listen, I think Dennis Schroeder is a starting point guard in this league, to be 100% honest with you. But as good as he is, right, you have that undersized backcourt again, right? Donovan Mitchell and Dennis Schroeder. It's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be really tough, especially, you know, like New York got defenders we could throw at them. Boston got defenders they could throw at them, at their guards. I think that's really tough for Cleveland, in my opinion. But I did forget about that. To go back to what Bruce said there, I think the Clippers, and again, I don't really believe in them, but if Kawhi Leonard is good enough to win you some games, right? At this point in time, I don't think I could say that he's good enough to win you a series, but he can win you a couple of games. And so, with that being said, you know, if your best player can go and get you 2 games in the playoffs, and you need a team effort to go and get another 2, that math ain't the worst, right? And so I think the Clippers do have a fighting chance in that sense. Excuse me. But then again, you know, either playing Oklahoma City in the first round, San Antonio, LA, or Denver, I don't like any of those matchups for the Clippers. I know you said you think that the Clippers could best the Spurs. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. The guards and the wings that the Spurs have on defense and to attack the rim, and then you got Wemby just patrolling the floor. I think the reason why I think Denver has a great chance is because Jokic can try to take Wemby out of the game, right? Whether it's pulling him off into the 3-point line, you know, Jokic could one-on-one try to take him out of the game. I think LA, you got a Luka Doncic who's gonna force Wemby in constant pick and rolls and try to attack him. And I think the Thunder as a team on defense, I think they'll be good enough. They're gonna let a lot of physicality go for OKC in the playoffs. So I think those teams can beat San Antonio. The Clippers, I think I'll have a hard time. Yeah, I'll be honest, when I watch Kawhi, who's been healthy and is putting up full effort, I think he's still a top 10 player in the league. That being said, I really don't take the Clippers seriously. That's what I think too. You need Tyson and Dean Wade to be big. That's a tough ask against OG, Jason Tatum, Scotty. Own your poverty franchise bars. I just take players like Kawhi and Joel out of rankings for my head's sake. Too hard to rank. Like, see, I agree, right? And again, I think when he's healthy and he's fully, you know, he's fully engaged, he's putting out effort, whatever it is, right? He's a top player. That's why I said, I think right now, today, right, March 28th or whatever it is, right, Kawhi Leonard is good enough to win you 2 games, right, meaning by himself pretty much in the playoffs. The 2019 Raptors, where it felt like Kawhi could win you a series on his own, or the Spurs when he was everywhere on defense and scoring 20 plus a game. Like, that Kawhi is to be consistent for a week and a half, 2 weeks of basketball. To bank on that is really hard, in my opinion, right now. But that's why I think they're a sleeper team, right? Because if you get into a series against the Clippers and they win one of the first 2 games and it's a team victory, like everyone's kind of chipping in, Kawhi has like a 24-point game, right? And you're going, let's say, because LA is one of the lower teams, and you're going back into LA for game 3 and 4, and it's a 1-1, and Kawhi still hasn't had a big game. That's a little scary, right? That gets a little bit scary, because you know, what if Kawhi just pops off for 2 games at home. Now all of a sudden 1-1 turns into 3-1, and now you're in a world of trouble, right? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to Kawhi potentially really changing a series. But to expect 7 games is a little, it's a lot right now. It's a lot. Completely fair, Elijah. Ty Lue is a better coach than the Spurs. Well, yeah, he's been coaching longer. You're talking about a championship level coach, and Grant, you could talk about the team and whatever, but that's a championship level coach. Versus someone like Ty Lue's probably forgotten more basketball than what's his face. But that don't also make up for all the talent. Like I said, especially for the Clippers, you know, scoring on that team with Wemby is going to be really, really difficult. I think it's going to be really difficult. That's going to be really, really fucking difficult. Let's see. What else we got? Why are they still like... Have these games just not started? Am I blacked out? Just rewinding it, Jay, why are you disregarding Pistons when they've been 8-2 in the last 7 without Cade, even on the floor and maintaining the number seed? I feel they earn more respect than that this year. Come on, let's be honest, bro. Listen, man. Listen. All of that stuff is great. Playoffs come around. You really think this team, without Cade Cunningham, is going to be able to put up a legitimate fight against the top teams, let alone the Philadelphia 76ers? Like, let's be honest. The Philadelphia 76ers end up in a matchup against the Detroit Pistons. Who y'all taking? And I get it. I'm going to sound like the guy that's only looking at stars on paper, but like, that's going to be really tough. Cade Cunningham is probably one of the best players in the world when it comes to scoring in half court. And he's also a really, really great transition player. But Cade's style of play. He said without. Yeah, but that's gonna be. I don't know, bro. We've seen this before, and you gotta think like that's his lungs. He's gonna be gassed. Like he has a collapsed lung, and then you gotta go and run 48 minutes in the most intense playoff. That's a tough ask. You just got a collapsed lung, and you got to come back and guard Tyrese Maxey. Good luck. Good luck. Here, watch this pick and roll with Joel Embiid, and then he gonna post your ass up. It's gonna be really tough. We'll see what happens when it comes to his health. But we got. Let's see. Like it's a collapsed lung. Like he's gonna have no like he in 2K. Yeah. Hey Eli, you just said you just got 2K, right? Imagine you check into the game at tip off. Imagine the tip off come out. Cade Cunningham get the basketball, and he already got the Gatorade logo. Imagine the game start. They tip it off. You get the ball. You win. Jalen Duren win the tip off. Cade Cunningham get the ball, and he already got the Gatorade logo. Here, let's see. Let's see. 3 weeks, that was like a week ago. Let's see. I don't know what an extended period of time means. Let's see. I mean, they stalled without him this year. Granted, I guess not the last 10 games, but they've had some bad stretches without him. Okay, so JJ Watt returned 3 weeks after surgery. So that's a potential timeline. If it's really bad, he could miss the first round. If it's severe, he could miss the first round. So there you go, right? A quick timetable would be 3 weeks. So again, what you said is not necessarily untrue, Eli, but that was, based on JJ Watt, who had surgery and came back in 3 weeks. If it's more severe than that, he could miss the first round. I thought Detroit should have flipped Ivy for Jordan Poole instead of Jordan Poole for Jaden Ivey. I mean, I'm not someone that completely gave up on Jordan Poole. I want to say I agree with you, but that's also tough. Wait, hold on, Eli. Hold on. No one said Cade Cunningham isn't going to come back and be a good basketball player. Wait, hold on. And that guy's physically is unreal. But like, you got to come back in the playoffs. When you coming in the game and your tank on E. Listen, I think Cade is really good, man. I think this guy is going to be an MVP caliber guy for a long time. This guy is really fucking good. With that being said, I think they need him. I think they're gonna need him. You're right, he's a different animal. He is. It is tough. But I don't know what that says. But of a home run trade. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Poole is good. Does he fit this team though? This team is gritty, grimy. This team is. So the 1 seed without him is going to get their best player coming back to good form. That's the thing. I don't know if there's enough time for him to come back to good form. That's not a knock on him. That's just the timing of everything. Listen, if he returns at I mean, a lot of things could happen. A lot of things could happen. I just think that's tough. The way they rely on him, that's tough. Right? This isn't. It's not like it's not like the Warriors from back in the day where one person goes down, you still got 2 other guys there, and and Cade could ease his way back in first and second round. Like, they don't have that situation. He's gonna come back from an injury in the playoffs, and he's gonna have to go from 0 to 100. That's asking a lot out of somebody physically. It's asking a lot. And they depend on him. That's why I think he should be one of the real favorites for MVP, aside from the 65 game rule, because this guy is, the way they depend on him is absolutely insane. And I get that they played well lately. It's also March basketball, so some of these teams are checked the fuck out. I just don't think they're a real threat, to be honest. That's just me. Their results without him say they don't rely on him any more than any other team relies on their best player, though. We'll see. We'll see once the playoffs come around. We'll see once the playoffs come around. It's not regular season. And I can't think of who else is in a similar situation. Most teams at the moment have consistency right now. We'll see. I mean, it would be more fun to have a good Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. I think they'll be better basketball, but I think that's asking a lot out of Cade Cunningham. That's asking a lot, and if he comes back and does it, that's kudos to him. The Raptors are checked all the way out. Yeah, them boys. You know what sucks? They had such a good start to the year. Right, they were rolling to start the year for you guys, but it just kind of tailed off a little bit. I think they could still give some teams problems in the Eastern Conference, but yeah, man, yeah, they're. You know what's funny? Because we talked about this earlier this year. That they had they had an equal opportunity offense, and that's great, right? That's really great. But realistically, to be a top level team, you need clearly defined roles, and you need to know what you're gonna get out of players game in and game out, right? If your first and second option, you know exactly what you're going to get out of. For the most part, your third option, you know what you're going to get out of. Everyone under that can kind of flip-flop. That's kind of what OKC does. Their first option, guaranteed. Their second option, when Jalen Williams is there, pretty much guaranteed, especially outside of injuries this season. And you have a Chet Holmgren whose third can be second, third option. And then below that, they have anyone from a Cason Wallace to a AJ Mitchell to a whoever, Caruso. Now they have Jared McCain, Hartenstein. They have like 5-6 different people that could be anywhere from 6th to 3rd or, scoring leader on the team any given night. And that's what makes them dangerous. But again, it's not their first or second guy. And when it comes to the Toronto Raptors, it felt like that for a long time. But at some point, right, you're gonna need consistency, and in order to do that, you need to have clearly defined roles. It crushed me, to be honest. I wanted Toronto to be hella strong so bad. I really believe they are one star picking Toronto away from repeating the last chip. I mean, it's a good. It's a good what's the word I'm looking for? They got a good base. Right? If you have a team that's really down with moving the basketball and everyone can kind of figure out how to get other people's shots, if you could bring someone in and integrate them with that, and again, that's a lot easier said than done because you get a ball dominant guy that's taking 18 to 22 shots a game. That shifts the offense a lot, right? From everyone getting the basketball, everyone gets 10 to 15 shots each. All of a sudden, some guy gets in here and he's getting up 22 shots. A couple of those guys that are used to 10, 12 shots, they're going to get like 7, 8. And it really shifts the offense. But it's one of those things, if you could figure that out to move the basketball and still have one guy get 20-some shots up and have 30, that's a good base to have when it comes to a championship level team. This is a trend in previous years. We played down from a 15-point lead this year. We played up from a 15 up with 15 lead and still lose. We did our work and got to 3. Now we can't play a full game season. I think we're more than 1 star away. However, we may find enough right now. Scotty determined that in this playoff run for me. Listen, I think Scotty Barnes is really solid, Elijah. I think he's more of a 2. I think he needs to be more of your... I think having Scotty Barnes actually allows you to have a team with a really dominant offensive player. Right? I think as long as you keep Scotty Barnes, one, you'll maintain size, right? You're going to keep you'll be able to keep size on the floor. But two, because he's such a willing passer, he plays defense, you can pick up a player that's a little bit more offensive heavy, that leans a little bit more offense than defense, right? Because I think Scotty Barnes will be that guy. All right, I'm gonna get everybody to basketball. I'm gonna get to the rim. I'm gonna get rebounds. I think Scotty Barnes is gonna be such a great second option guy. He's gonna get his numbers. He's still gonna put up stats. He might even damn near average a triple double if someone can give him a little bit of freedom. So I think Scotty Barnes is great. If they can find a really great offensive player to pair with him, I think they start to look really scary. BI is a great catch and shooter, though. IQ's good bringing it up and getting into people's hands. They have decent defenders. Like, one guy is capable of regularly taking over the load when needed. Changes things to me. Yeah, but you got to remember, Eli, you're going to have to get rid of one of those guys or multiple of those guys, right? If you're going to somehow bring in a superstar 28 point per game scorer, you're not keeping all of those guys, especially if you intend on keeping Scotty Barnes, right? You're not going to have that same nucleus. It'll be extremely difficult. But again, I think Scotty Barnes gives you that freedom, right? To go and pick up someone that's really offensively gifted, because Scotty Barnes can kind of take care of everything else. Right, you can handle the offense. Go shoot your 20 whatever fucking times. I got everything else. I got everything else kind of vibe. And then just surround those two players with defenders and shooters, and all of a sudden you got Coffin was IQ and Grady for job, but we missed. That might have been a miss. Because imagine that, Elijah. Imagine that, guys. Imagine Elijah. Because watching it back now, right? Imagine Ja got on this team, and all he had to worry about was scoring the basketball. Hey, listen, bro. Listen. We're going to play defense behind you. You don't even got to play point guard for real. You gonna start at the point guard, but Scotty's like, you ain't really got to play point guard for real. Just go and get buckets. Run high pick and rolls. I got all this shit. Yeah, that might have been a move. The worry that I have is, because we've seen this before, teams in Toronto's situation sometimes think it's good to move a player like Scotty Barnes to get more in return. And again, I think that would be a mistake. I think you need to build with him and another star player, because then you kind of just ruin everything, and you're starting from scratch, and you lose a vital key that really unlocks the potential of the team, right? So let's see what Toronto does moving forward. Listen, Eli, I know he's on Detroit. They up right now too. But Ant-Man not there. Ant-Man not there. Ant-Man got a fly jacket on today though, for sure. When does this... Oh, who won the I didn't even see who won the Spurs game. The Spurs won 127-95. Let's see. Wemby had 23, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, a block. 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 7 of 21 from the field. Castle had 22. De'Aaron Fox only played 20 minutes. Had 12. Vassell had 16. I mean, again, this Spurs team, I think outside of experience, they have so much talent. They have so much talent on, at the guard and the wing. And then I think the important thing is what we saw at All-Star Weekend, right? The way Wemby forced all the teams to play hard, right? Because he was playing so hard. Imagine what that's like every single day in practice. And I think that's why this team is where they are, especially on defense, right? Again, just imagine what what Wemby was able to do and how he was able to impact the all-stars in the NBA, right? He got those guys to compete at an all-star game. Imagine what he's able to do for his team every single day. And I think that is why, to me, they are real contenders, because they rely on their defense. And I think that can get you a really long way, but sort of like Oklahoma City, right? What we saw with OKC, they had to figure out the playoffs, right? They had to figure out how to close games, how to close series. Shea had to figure out his offense in the playoffs to be as consistent as it is in the regular season and to get everyone involved. And when you're talking about the Spurs, who have yet to play in the playoffs so far, right? To go from no experience in the playoffs outside of De'Aaron Fox, who had one playoff run, that's a lot. And so I think they have a fighting chance because Wemby will always compete. And outside of that, he is a problem on defense. His size, his speed, it makes it really difficult for offenses to get off. You see guys driving away just because he's hovering in the area, right? And so I think that will give them a fighting chance. But I think, especially on offense, is where they're going to have to really figure it out, especially Wemby. And again, I think if Wemby can figure that aspect of his game out, I think they could be on a run for a couple years, man. They really could. They really, really could. Is it crazy? I think Castle should be in defensive player of the talks too. I think, bro, honestly, his defense is unreal. His defense is unreal. I think the only thing about him, I'll pull him up. The only thing, Elijah, right, that we've seen with these Defensive Player of the Year awards, it's hard without the stats. Like, Dyson Daniels didn't win averaging 3 steals a game. Let alone Castle right now, who's averaging 1.2. And don't get me wrong, I think he's great on defense. I mean, we've seen him. Throughout the season, he's been one of the better defenders on Shea. Just speaking about this OKC matchup specifically, but also just like one of the hardest people to guard in the league. I've seen him really lock up on defense. And I think that that's really, really difficult to do. But do I think he's going to be a defensive player of the year? Personally, I don't think so. Should he be in the conversation? Yeah, because I think he is one of the best defensive players in the whole league. He's really fucking good on defense. He's really, really good. Let's see. I'm just looking over some of these. Listen, man, if we've gone over Wemby in these clips a lot, but it's things like this that could really put his game in the next level.
Wants to back down his fellow Frenchman. Now face up now, spinning when Benyama won't go.
If he can consistently get to these shots, and I think for him, right? Look at where the ball drops. This was something I had to learn a lot, right? He drops the ball pretty much at his feet. If you can get the ball a little bit more outside, it sells this a little bit more. And mind you, he's still got a really good spin off. And here it's just a matter of he just needs to make the shot, right? He just needs to make this shot. And he just barely misses it. But I think this could really take his game to the next level. Instead of settling for these long threes, and not for nothing, kudos to Wemby, because I think he's been trying this a lot more this season of these attempts. That could really take him to the next level if he starts hitting shots like that consistently. I hate that. To me, you can just plain see he has been really good in the eye test, probably the most important for real DPOY. Not saying he should win it. I'd like to see the recognition. No, I agree. And it doesn't help him, right? It doesn't help him that Wemby's on his team, right? Because Wemby's going to get all of the praise. And also, we also got to give Wemby the credit. He allows, because we've seen this before, when you have a shot blocker that can cover a lot of ground on defense like Wemby can, what does that do to your guards, to your wings? It allows them to push up on defense. It allows them to play harder defense because they don't fear getting beat, because they know there's someone there that can clean up, right? So that also gives Castle the freedom to really play the defense that he plays. It's a tug and pull. It's a tug and pull for sure. Numbers are so overrated on defense. If stats mattered on D, we would have been thinking Houston Harden was elite on D. There's also rebounds is also that they don't talk about. Rebounds are a big thing in Defensive Player of the Year because that's considered closing the defensive possession. So I know that's something that guards really struggle with. So again, Dyson Daniels didn't win it, averaging 3 steals a game. I think it'll be hard for a guard to win it right now. Oh, yeah, no, that was him working with Hakeem for sure. And the drop was right by his hand, and the time the ball was out his hand was none. No, that's big facts. That's big facts. But again, like, I think that's something he's going to learn, right? He's trying. I got to give Wemby a lot of credit, right? He tries a lot of things on offense in the NBA, but it never looks, at least for the most part, it doesn't look out of control, right? I think there's times we've seen players, who are trying things on offense, and it looks extremely out of control. And so, I think the thing about Wemby, I appreciate that part of it. I think it goes both ways, though. Defenders like JR allow Bron to get blocked. No, for sure. That, like I said, I think it's both, right? I think it's both. They both benefit each other, right? They both benefit each other. And then you got to think, by the time I cross up Castle, right, and I get to Wemby, I've done 50 dribbles, right? Because this motherfucker is white on rice, right? Talking about Castle. So by the time I already get to Wemby, I've already been doing this shit since half court. It's just one of those. Look at this shot. Let's look at this shot real quick. Again, he does a jab, but then drops it.
Wembanyama back.
Drops it into a tween. I love that. That's that's impressive.
Wembanyama
Drops the
back out
ball
there on
into a tween. He looks like
the
he's
floor.
gonna pull up, and he does a one-legged shot. I mean, this guy, he misses this, but wow, this is ill. Even the
Wembanyama
misses
back
are
out there
sick.
on the floor, firing over Sims. Left
And again, I think over time he will learn.
on the floor.
He will learn. He would have, look at how flat the shot was.
Firing over.
That's why it was so short. If he would have squared himself and planted that right
floor.
foot and really planted that right foot and got a good jumper off, I think the shot would have been more online. But again, this guy is trying shit, and I gotta tip it. I gotta tip it, bro. But yeah, I think this Spurs team is gonna be it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I think where they're gonna struggle again, like we've talked about, the defense I think is where they're going to struggle. Especially in the playoffs. Now, wait. Is this deadass? Wait. Wemby just jumped to first in NBA's Kia MVP rankings over Shea for the first time. And Jokic is third, and Luka went from 2 to 4? What? Yo, this guy Luka been literally averaging 40. He had a 60, 50, and 340-point game. He was averaging 39 and a half. How the fuck is he fourth? Yo, that's sick. Oh, that's a sick joke. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is a sick joke. Listen, I think Wemby at the lowest should be third. I think it's Shea, Luka, Wemby right now. But that's crazy. That's crazy, Wemby. Hey, man, Wemby. Excuse me. I know I put out that video. I know. Listen, man. I put out that video like 2 weeks ago. What is this? Oh, here. Listen, I know. Listen, bro. Listen, I know I put this video out 3 weeks ago. I talked about the MVP race 11 days ago. Listen, I've been talking about this, right? Even still, I did not expect Wemby to jump to first in MVP voting. And listen, I think he has a legitimate case, right? That was there's a lot of people that kind of took this video out of context, right? All I was talking about was the fact that this is the first time I've seen in a long time, if ever, where there were 7 guys that I think had a legitimate case for MVP. Wemby being one of them. But to see him jump to first is kind of crazy, especially after the conversations that they were just having with Shea and Luka. And then Wemby says something on the podium about why he should be MVP, which I actually like his answer. I don't have an issue with his answer at all. But after that, he all of a sudden jumps to first. That's kind of crazy. I want to see if they struggle to close games. I don't agree with how they do it. No, that's right. I try to chill, Jason, but you see the meat riding. Look, I don't want to stand here and discredit any stars and their impact, but awards really irritate me. As a football scout, I watch so much rake, and I've realized public opinion very rarely reflects tape. It's all narratives and fan faves, man. I really don't take it too seriously. They're going to make sure he have Hall of Fame accomplishments and this is something I've spoken to, Elijah. We've talked about this, right? All of that sounds great, Eli, right? In a perfect world, and this is where I had to grow up as a sports fan, right? In a perfect world, the right people get all the awards, the correct everything. In a perfect world, fans know what they're looking at. All of that stuff sounds great. The reality is, this is a part of it, unfortunately. And part of the video that I put out, right? Part of this video, right, where I'm talking about how this 2026 MVP race could change history because of all the different narratives and storylines, right? It was really because I wanted to highlight the fact that everyone does have a case, whether they win it or not, right? I really wanted to highlight all of those players, but because I think in their own way, they're all very deserving. And there are a lot of times, I think, when it comes to these sports conversations and these stories where they just focus on a couple of guys. And, that was something with that conversation in particular I was really trying to battle, because I think, again, like I said, there are a lot of deserving guys. And us even talking about Wemby like this, I think makes it seem like we don't think he's deserving, because I think he's had an MVP level year. But it's just funny that he jumped to 2 after those comments on the podium. Hey, man, it is the world that we live in. I don't like that talking shit. That's how Dame got more All-Stars. Listen, man, again, Elijah, in a perfect world, he would have just gotten those All-Stars off of straight merit. But again, if no one brings attention to it, how will people know? That's just the reality. That's just reality, right? That's just reality, especially Dame in Portland at the time. Portland games were on at 10:30 Eastern is when they started, when most motherfuckers is asleep or about to be asleep, right? You had the demons up at 10:30 watching them games till 12 o'clock at midnight, right? So most people missed his games. And again, if you don't bring attention to it, sort of like what Wemby did, right? Defense really hasn't been prioritized when it comes to MVP voting. I know Giannis got it that one year when he was Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, but he's not wrong, right? And historically, if we're being completely fair to someone like Luka, we're not going to act like purely offensive players weren't winning MVPs. Allen Iverson was not no defensive player. As many steals as he got, he was a defensive liability. Steve Nash, same thing. Jokic, all offense. Like, we're not going to act like this does not happen, where they really favored offense over defense. So I get what Wemby was saying when it comes to that. But he's a candidate. Hell no, he isn't number one. I'm going to go FaceTime Scotty. Tell him DPOY on broadcast. I think he should. He might get it after that. He might get it. But he is a candidate. But like I said, I think currently speaking, out of the recent basketball, I think Wemby would be third. I think Shea, because of how consistent he has been, he's one of those guys. I think someone put it in a comment on my Jaylen Brown YouTube short. Jaylen Brown gives you very little sub 20 games, and very rarely isn't he 40 or 50s, but he's always around like 28, 33. Like, Shea is 33 a night. Like, he rarely is going 50s. You know, he has some 40s. Never damn near in below 20s. Literally never under 20. That's a lot of consistency on his part. Luka be fried on so many possessions, Jay. I'm with you for the most part, but he picks his spots way too often. I mean, bro, that's just Luka, bro. Oh my God. I mean, that's just. And listen, I think the thing about Luka, right? Because we have so many critiques about Luka, right? You know, stay with me here for a second. Picture Luka Doncic, the way he plays offense, right? Imagine he was even a decent defensive player. Imagine he was at least Steph Curry on defense. Also, imagine he don't complain to referees. Do you know the amount of glazing that Luka Doncic would get? Listen, picture that. Because he already gets all the credit. No, and listen, I'm not trying to say he don't deserve it, because the guy is quite literally unreal. I have so many criticisms about Luka, but when I watch him, he always does something that makes me say, "What the fuck am I watching?" But imagine Luka was like the perfect player that we all are picturing. Oh, he's a little bit better on defense. He don't complain. Could you imagine what would be happening right now with the NBA? Luka, they would have given Luka the MVP in December. If we're being honest, if Luka was even a half decent defender, don't complain on to the referees, he would get the fucking MVP every fucking year, and it wouldn't even be close. So I think we should be thanking the gods that this guy is not perfect, because fuck, it would be an issue. It would the issue would be the other way. Everyone would start saying, "Can we stop voting for this guy, please?" No, but what I'm saying, Eli, he would be treated so differently if that were the case. I think we need to be grateful that he has these flaws, is what I'm saying. I think the league should be grateful that he has these flaws. That's all I'm saying. Third for me too, but I also think Jaylen Brown should be above him too. I don't know if anyone has been more valuable than Brown. Will y'all do the Jamal dance with me? I'm not doing a dance right now, Elijah. Yo, you know what's crazy? And I don't know how I would love to speak to Jaylen Brown. I think he's, you know, I've had a lot of back and forths with people on their, you know, their little dynamic. But I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Jayson Tatum kind of took away from that MVP stuff for Jaylen Brown. Listen, I said it. Jayson Tatum's return took some of the wind off of the sails of Jaylen Brown. It just is what it is. His return was a big moment for the Celtics and the NBA. If we're just being honest, right? This was the most celebrated I've ever seen Jayson Tatum. He wasn't loved until he got injured. And his return, not just from how big it was, but now you got to share the basketball a little bit. Like, you can't let this motherfucker average 15. like, just imagine that locker room. You can't let him, especially some of them clips that came out. I'm not coming back to be a role player, Doc. Like, all that shit he was saying, like, you got to give him a little bit of the basketball. And so I think just point blank period, Jayson Tatum kind of took a little bit of the gas. He took a little bit of the steam off of that Jaylen Brown MVP train, and it just is what it is, man. If Luka played defense and didn't play this season, Texas would no longer be a U.S. state. I'm dead, bro. Jason, that's mad crazy right now. Is code for never. I mean, it could be. Shit, I mean, it could be. But yeah, what do we think? Do we think Jayson Tatum ruined Jaylen Brown's chances of winning an MVP by returning? Hey man, Jaylen Brown over there like, damn, let me get 30. But that was another thing I wanted to talk about actually really quick. And we're gonna stop glazing Luka and Shea right after this. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't seen Celtics since Jay came back. What he like? It's impressive that he's back like just under 10 months, and he's obviously rusty. But Jayson Tatum looks good. I will say, because Jaylen, no left hand Brown is not a thing anymore, right? I gotta give Jaylen Brown a lot of credit. His jump shots improved. I think his 3-ball has gotten so much better. Spotting up and off the dribble. His off the dribble, his step back to the left is damn near cash. Whenever Jaylen Brown steps back to the left from 3 from fucking 30 feet, it's pretty much cash. It's the high arcer, the shit hit nothing but net. His jumper has improved so much. His left hand has improved so much. His pick and roll and playmaking ability has improved so much. Jayson Tatum's jump shot looks like it's gone backwards. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his form, if it's a confidence thing, a rhythm thing. But Jayson Tatum's jumper has been really on and off. And I think if they're going to play at a high level with sort of these new roles, meaning Brown has a bigger role on offense and as a playmaker, meaning Tatum should be spotting up a little bit more than he was before, Tatum needs to hit those open shots. And right now, the finals run that they had was he had like a month and a half stretch of shooting terribly. Last season, if I remember, he started off the year shooting the ball really good from 3, and then he started getting to like 35% again, low 30s at one point maybe. But his jumper needs to improve. If nothing else, his jump shot needs to improve. Because if he can get himself to like a 40%, 38%, he'll be able to put up those stats still while taking a lesser role on offense. But that maybe that's just me. That's sad, but Brown was up. He'll battle. I can't think of a year since I've been watching where anyone won that wasn't in combo before the season started. I mean, yeah, people didn't even think they were going to be a playoff team. I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team. So yeah, no, I agree. Again, he has a legitimate case for MVP, but this isn't really MVP related. It could be if you want to take it that way, but I want to give a lot of credit to Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Because if you guys remember at the start of the year, right, we had Lauri Markkanen, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown. I don't know if I don't think Donovan Mitchell's averaging 30 anymore. Am I missing anybody else? There was like 5 guys that were averaging 30 outside of Shai and Luka, and ever since then they've all kind of trailed off, right? And they're not playing bad, but when someone says that they average 30 in the NBA, there's a difference between a Luka and a Shai versus everyone else, and that's just point blank period. Like, it is really hard to score that much that consistently in the NBA. And I just want to give those two credit for that, because I think, we say all the time, and I was just saying offense is a big part of the MVP, but it is really difficult, right, to maintain that type of consistency on offense. So I just want to give those two credit, because all those guys are really good. Like Jaylen Brown, unbelievable. Tyrese Maxey, I think, is also unbelievable. All those guys are really good, and even they weren't able to keep up with that pace. It just shows you how difficult it really is. He may have been shooting, not jumping when rehabbing, and it messed him up. No, he been bad. I don't know what his trainer. They could have been doing anything. Josh Gidd. Wait, hold on. Did you guys see that shit? Did y'all see that? I took offense to that. I'm not gonna lie to you. What's his trainer's name? What's his trainer's name, bro? Fuck, man. This fucking, where is this, bro? Wait, y'all seen this shit? This was a while ago. But y'all seen this shit? I took offense to this, bro. The irony of Carmelo Anthony trying to tell Jayson Tatum how to win. And then Melo says, he said, damn, Drew heard you. And then Melo said, why don't you go ask your client who celebrates him the most? Respect, though, champ. After Drew Hanlon said, Melo is a Hall of Famer, gold medalist, and one of the best bucket getters in NBA history. In fact, outside of Kobe, he was the player we studied, stole from more than anyone when JT was in high school. My tweet wasn't downplaying how good he was as a player. It was addressing Melo's comments, suggesting JT needed to take a backseat in order to win. JT is an NBA champion and 14-6 in the playoff series. He's known how to win. Just think the media, especially former players like Melo, knows JT rocks with him, should be celebrating the fact that JT has worked his ass off to give himself a chance to get back in the court in the season instead of dropping hot takes. Like, what kind of bullshit is this? And then Melo goes, my bad, y'all. I won't speak on any topics related to winning anymore. LOL. Just trying to share from a growth mindset back to small mindset as he responds to Drew Hanlon. Listen, there's a lot of people that don't like this first option, second option conversation, and I get it. It's gotten a little bit played out in the NBA. But unfortunately, it's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. Like, there's some people out there, right? There are some people out there that want to believe that everything is just fucking perfect. That Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum put themselves through blood, sweat, and tears to be the best basketball players ever, to not be recognized as it. Right? And we're seeing what Jaylen Brown, he's gotten a little bit of a taste of what an MVP, the lead guy on a team, looks like. You can't tell me he don't want to keep that feeling. And Melo in that situation was talking about someone who's had success all year and someone who's coming back from an injury. Yeah, you got to take a fucking back seat. Like that's just common sense. Am I dumb? Like, that's just common fucking sense. This guy's coming back from an Achilles tear with a guy who's playing at an MVP level. Who the fuck you think got to take a back seat? Like, Melo ain't saying nothing bad at all. And here go Drew Hanlon. First of all, bro, I know, like, you train him, you be driving him back and forth to the games. Like, I get you think he family and y'all, whatever. But, like, one thing you can't do is ruin relationships for your client. You can't ruin a professional relationship for your client. Like, Melo is he's a big name in this space. And that was just completely unnecessary. Even if you felt the way, you gotta know and understand that Melo is not coming from a bad place, and just shut the fuck up. Like that, I thought that was wild. And listen, I've been back and forth with people on this for a long time. In a perfect world, these guys don't care about all-time accolades, right? In a perfect world, they don't care about it. And as fans, don't care about it. Just win championships. Guess what happens in all-time conversations when you bring up Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Guess what happens? Oh, they got all the rings. Well, how many MVPs they have? How many this they have? How many that they have? And all of a sudden, instead of, oh, I think I'm supposed to be top whatever, 15, whatever, all of a sudden you're top 40, you're top 50, and then people start feeling away. And then players start looking back and say, fuck, if I would have been just more selfish instead of trying to go and get this championship, I'd be a top 10 player all time. Like, we're not going to pretend like that's not a real thing. We're not. And I'm tired of people that act like this isn't a real thing. Yes, I would love to believe that these guys are better human beings than all of us. But I got to tell you, if I was in that situation and we winning championships and I'm looking at articles and shit and I'm not in the all-time, I would have an issue. Fuck did I work this hard for? What did I work this hard for? What did I sacrifice 25 years of my life for? To not be top 10 all time? If I think I'm that good? Like again, I would love to think that that's how it is. And for their sake, I hope that they understand that they are two top 10 players in the NBA on the same team, wing players at that. That they're not going to find another player like their teammates on another team. And that they can compete year in and year out. In a perfect world, yes. But we've seen it go the other way also. Apparently, I'm the fifth option at the Kalamazoo Rec Center. These days, we taking step backs, air balls like gang. I swear you can just pass. They think I show up to the gym to be PJ to their heart. And mind you, don't Melo go to his runs if Melo gave them runs so much motion. Melo had him on his podcast. He just had him on his podcast like a couple months ago. He just had him on his podcast. And again, I know Tatum and Brown. I can say this for a fact. This ain't an assumption. I know for a fact these two players think they're the best players in the world. They're two of the best players in the world. And unfortunately, awards are a part of that. Right? Oh, I'm better than so-and-so. I'm better than so-and-so. And then rankings come out. But because this person got this award and this championship and this and that, all of a sudden you start getting bumped down. And then people start feeling away. Oh, they say, oh, you can't win a championship without so-and-so. Oh, you can't win a championship without, like we're not going to act like we don't live in the real world, y'all. We are in the real world. That's Drew trying to be bigger than what he is. Melo just a cool dude. I thought it was weird, bro. I thought it was really weird for him to go at, for him to, like there's a way he could have went about that. You know what I'm saying? Like Drew Hanlon could have said, let's not discuss their roles. Like these two guys want to play together. Like he could have gone about it any other way. But for him to say the irony of Carmelo Anthony trying to tell Jason Tatum how to win and not expect backlash. Like I think there's some people that think they could just say whatever the fuck and no one gonna say nothing. And we know Melo gonna say something. We know Melo gonna say something. I watched a lot of these videos, like the fight compilations and the beefs in the NBA. There's one person that don't take a step back. And it's Carmelo Anthony. That guy don't run from no smoke. So, hey, man. Let's see if there's any new news from Shams. Okay, so this just happened 38 minutes ago. Lakers' Luka Doncic has been suspended for Monday's game against the Washington Wizards after picking up his 16th technical foul. Like, I don't think it gets more brain dead than missing games as the lead offensive player because of technical fouls. Like, I think that's really fucking dumb. But hey man, he's gonna have to learn. How many games has he played this season? 62 games. So he needs 3 more games to qualify for these awards, and I think he will. I think all of the main guys will qualify for the awards. Luka, Shea, I think everyone will qualify for it outside of Cade Cunningham, unfortunately. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna do it for me for today. I'm really glad I was able to get on and chat with y'all, man. This is always fun. If you guys have not done so, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Also, I've been dropping a lot of content on the channel lately, so if you guys haven't had the chance to do so, check out the videos, the 65 game video, the MVP, a deeper breakdown of the Tatum Brown situation, the new faces. You know, I think all of these videos are really good if I'm being 100% honest. So if you have not done so, check those out. Check out the shorts. Yeah, I'll see you later, bro. I'll see you later, Elijah. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. We need a date and time, or you not leaving. I don't have anything Friday. So we're good. We're good Friday. I was live last Friday, and the Friday before that, Elijah. I was live. I was live. Right. I'm not tripping. I'm not making that up, right? Yeah, I was live 7 days ago. I mean, hey man, we were live, but I'll be live Friday. Let's say 7 Eastern. Let's say 7 Eastern Friday. 7 Eastern, 6 Central. So Friday we gonna chat. Friday we'll chat, but don't talk about what? Huh? Wait. What? What you mean? But yeah, man, we'll be live next Friday. Thank you guys as always. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys next week. You have a great weekend, man. You have a great weekend. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Thank you, Elijah. I have no clue what those times are. I'll just spend my evening staring at my noties. 7 p.m. Eastern, Elijah. What you mean you have no idea what those times are? 6 p.m. Central. You're in Detroit, right? You're in Michigan? I think you're Central Time. But thank you, Eli. I know Derpy was in here for real quick. Bruce, Big Brucey was in here. I know my mom, my dad. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week.